we need to begin creating our first course for Moodle. There are several different levels of protection within Moodle, and not everyone can create courses in every place. So what I'd like for you to do now is click on a department that is not your department. For example, I'm in the math department with the credentials that I'm logged in now, and if I click on English language, I'll see the courses listed here, but there's no way for me to add a course here. So if I go back and click the home button, now by contrast, if I click on the math department, notice that I see the math department courses that are listed, and there's a link here for me to add a new course. So if I click on add new course, now I can go through and fill out for my new course in the math department. Notice that the only category I have is math because I can only teach in the math department. If you are teaching in more than one department, you may have two choices there, and you should see the add new course at in each of those departments. You want to fill in your course full name. There's no standard at this point in time with those course names. I would make it very similar to what the course name is in RenWeb at this particular time. So let's say I'm going to create a new class here called AP Calculus. And then the short name for it, again, there's no standard to this at this particular time, but whatever the short name is here, that's what's going to show up in the breadcrumb trail up here. So I would try to make it meaningful. Don't make it too long. You want to make it rather short, 4 to 6 characters if possible. So I'm going to simply put mine as calc. Again, notice that each of these has a help button that you can go to there. Course number is not necessary, nor is the course summary, because they're not starred and they're not in red. The format of the course. Now here's one of the first decisions that you'll need to make on this. Do you want it to be a weekly format or topical format? The other two formats are not something that would be used in most courses, so I'm not going to talk about them at this particular time. The difference between these two formats is how the course will be laid out. The weekly format, each section of the course will be broken down into weeks. Now that seems like a very logical way to lay things out, and it may be. You just have to remember that a week is 7 days. So if you start it as a weekly format and start the course date as a Tuesday, then the end of that week is the Monday following it. You cannot have a week that is Monday to Friday. So you just need to be very careful with that if you choose the weekly format. Now the topical format, if you choose it, instead of each section of the course being laid out as a week, it will be laid out as a topic. So if your course lends towards units better, you could do it that way. You could do, for example, in AP Calculus, I would use a topical format because I will do the limits as a topic, then I would do derivatives as a topic, and so forth and so on. If you are doing in an English course, you might want to lay it out topically and do each topic with a different part of literature that you're teaching. Maybe each one's a different novel that you're reading. Or you could do it as a weekly format and let everything flow throughout the week. It's up to you, entirely up to you what you do there. Then choose the number of topics that you want, or the number of weeks that you want there. You can go all the way up to 52 different weeks. And the start date for the course. This can be changed later on, but you could set this start date to be August if you choose to. For right now, I would leave the start date as it is. That way in the future, you can go in and test it out and won't have to worry about the beginning date of it at this particular time. How do you want sections to show up in the course? We'll talk about this a little bit in more detail in a little bit. You can show them either in collapsed form or completely invisible. Collapsed means that you can see the name of the topic or the week, but you don't see anything within it. Completely hidden means it doesn't even show up on there at all. Most of these things I would leave as the default. because that's the best setting for them. If you have any questions about them, you can simply click on this icon bubble here and it will tell you a little bit more about it. So just fill in what you know you need at that particular time, and then I'm going to press Save Changes.